with me as we try to pine tar and wax our cross-country skis. These are wooden skis, as you guys saw earlier. I'll insert some clips about me talking about these skis and wiping them down just to clean them up. This is definitely probably, I wouldn't say this is a how-to, this is more of a come with me and figure it out. Because I've never done this before. I followed a fellow YouTuber on here. I think his name is Explorer Mike. He talked about how he takes care of his wooden skis. So I'm kind of following loosely the steps that I've seen him do. And we will tar them to seal the wood off. And then we're going to use, where did we go? He uses paraffin wax to do a Glidewax on them. And then I just got back from the city and I bought kick wax for 0 to, I think it's like 5, and then 5 to like -15. So I have 2 different temperatures for kick wax to try and give these guys a go. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But if you're wanting an actual how-to, I would maybe suggest following him. But if you want to just come along with me as I try and figure this out, let's give it a go. So I have the pine tar heating up. We're not going to talk about how I'm heating it up, but I am. And I'm just going to scrape this to see if there's like any wax on it. We want to make sure that we get that off. I don't think it's wax that's coming off of it. There's a little bit of something coming off of it, so we'll do that. Then we're going to brush it down with pine tar to seal it, let that cool off, and then we'll see about going in and putting on the wax. So I probably should have these in some sort of vise to hold them, but we're making do with what we got. I went into the city to go talk to a gentleman. I actually went in for a couple other reasons, but I talked to a gentleman at a service shop for skis about cross-country skis, and I think he might have been a little bit concerned, but we'll see how all of this goes. So I've used just a regular scraper for that. I did want a ruler for another straight edge, and then I'm going to use a scour pad just to make sure that this is like really clean, which it feels like it is. Actually kind of smooth. And then I think what they do next is like we heat up the wood just to make sure that all works. So this is heated up enough that we can apply it. It's like a runny consistency. So we're gonna put this on the actual bottom of the ski. And then after that, I'm gonna use that torch over there to heat it up on the wood, so that it's supposed to like work its way into the pores of the wood itself. So we ended up actually having the pine tar already from having horses, and which I lucked out. This can is probably as old as I am, maybe not. I remember like when we bought this as a kid. So I asked my parents if I could steal it to do this, and then seal up these skis so that I could do both these ones, which are mine, and then I'll also do my mom's skis here later. Thought if I was gonna give it a go and mess up, that I should probably do mine first. So if I understood right, a big thing about like tarring the skis is it like seals the water out from the bottom. And then also there's some belief with there's also some belief with the fact that like this is antiseptic, that it should also like help prevent any issues with the skis later on. But it makes sense in my mind, at least, for the tarring of the skis to like seal them up and protect them from the water. And then pine tar is supposed to have like an antiseptic kind of quality, so that may have a factor also to take. And you could still do like a Glidewax on them to help like slide, but this is just an added process with them being wooden skis. Now this one's starting to show like a little bit of damage on the end, so I'm actually gonna just tap that there. And then both of those there. So what you're gonna do is you're like heating up I have a cloth here. You're gonna like heat up the wax and like, woo-hoo, as you're heating it up, ooh, I just got wax all over that. You're gonna basically wipe it off. From my understanding, the intention of this is to like get the tar to like move down into like the grain of the wood, and then you just like wipe off the excess. Ignore all my crap that you guys can probably see over there, but we're going to warm up the tar and then basically like wipe it off. Should have done it the other way. Check that out. So what I ended up doing was after I put on the first layer of pine tar, I think I had it a little bit too much on there. So the guy that's tutorial I was following there even suggested to basically like keep going back and forth over the ski, heating up the tar and then like wiping it away until it feels less tacky. And right now most spots don't feel tacky. So, but I did get some tar on some other parts of the ski, so we'll have to clean that up after. But we will do the other one, and I think that I've kept the pine tar heating up, so I think it probably will go on thinner, which is what I probably should have done in the first place. And we'll give this a go. Oops. So we're gonna jump straight into, there's pine tar, I think on this table. We're gonna jump right into waxing these skis with a base wax or Glidewax. And I'm just gonna follow the same guy's recommendations. So what he does is takes like paraffin and like rubs it in and then heats it up. That way when we do the rest of the steps. So we're gonna start with that and see how it goes versus using an iron to melt it on. I don't have an iron, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm gonna put this down and continue on our merry way. So this is paraffin wax. I can't remember if I mentioned it already, but that's I've kind of heard mixed reviews about using like paraffin wax and then also just like an average ski glide wax, but just decided to follow this main guy's tutorial, Explorer Mike's guy's tutorial. So he used paraffin wax, so we use paraffin wax. And then after we get this spread across the entire ski, we heat it up and then we scrape it. So this is your base wax, and then like you're gonna put your kick wax on where your weight would be depending on the temperature. So we're not gonna do the kick wax yet because I gotta figure out when I'm going and I wanna make sure I have the right wax on. Just try to stand so I can see. So I'm going along and I can see where the wax I've been like running in. It looks like a crayon and it's like melting to be like shiny. So do that. And then there's the odd spot where you can see that like a little bit of a residue. I don't know how to explain it. So now that we've melted that onto there, we are going to take our straight edge and rub it down the ski so that we can make sure that it's smooth. And then we're going to take a Scotch pad and also rub it on there, and then I think we also have to brush it. So it's taking a little bit of wax off. I just went in the house to go grab this cork and brush, and it certainly smells like pine tar in here. Oh, I like this brush better. I tried to like DIY some of the tools, and I don't mind them, but I like this brush a lot better. And then the other side of this has a cork, which we're also going to use.